I am looking at my eBay account, the status of my eBay account, and it is saying that I am, if I were to be evaluated today, no longer a top rated seller. I would be above standard. And that has everything to do with my shipping time, or more closely, my handling time. Now, there's an issue somewhere along the line here, and I don't think it's on my end because I drop everything off at the post office daily. So I'm going to talk about what I think is happening because this might be affecting, at least according to some of the eBay reps, happening to a good number of you across the US. It's currently happening to me, and we have to fix it before the 20th. But before we do any of that, let's go and source. Let's go find some items to resell. And then we're going to come back here in just a little bit. And I'm going to talk about what I think is happening. And if there is a solution, we're going to try to find one. So let's go shopping first. All right, hear me out on this one. I'm going to pick this up and it's probably not going to sell for a ton of money. It's a Waterford crystal. It's a very small mantle clock. There's a variation of this that sells a little bit better. I did see a sold for this exact style sell for $45, but realistically, way more sold in the $20 to $25 range. And so I think that's probably where I'm going to list mine. Where I can, I like to be on the higher end for at least half of my items price-wise. I don't think this is the one to do that with, or the item to do that with. So I think even at $20 to $25, because there are quite a few listed, that it's still going to sit for a while. And I really can't out keyword most of the listings. You know, I could pay to have it promoted, but I like to keep my promoted listings sort of around the 2 to 4% range. So promoting it in that price range might get me a little bit more visibility, but let's just call it $20, $25 and be done with it. I liked these salt and pepper shakers, but used Google Lens, looked up the name that was written on the bottom, couldn't find anything remotely close, so I left them behind. And there were a lot of different, I shouldn't say different, there were a lot of really new trinkets, figurines here this trip to look at. So I spent a lot of time, or more time than I normally do, looking in this area. But the only thing that sort of stood out as a little bit more obvious was the Waterford clock. So I'm going to grab that. We're going to take it. Let's hope that we can move it quicker than normal. It's the next thing that I want to show you that's new to me, and this is always exciting. So Dagne Dover, this is the Legend tote, and who knew? Now, there's a longer strap that you can order separate from their website. It doesn't automatically come with this one. There's a 15-inch size and a 13-inch size. I think the 15 is the Legend. The 13 they call a Classic. Just your standard tote, but really well made, like super durable feeling. If you didn't know that Dagne Dover is an item to be on the lookout for, put this one on the list because it's a first for me. And I think that I can get it sold between $40 and $50. They are, I want to say $250 brand new on their website, if I remember correctly. So that's pretty exciting. It was clean on the inside and doesn't come with, like, initially when I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, I think there's a strap that is supposed to come with this. And then when I was looking at the sold comparables, that strap was in some of those listings. So smart of me, I guess, to go to the company website to find out in their descriptions that they are not, those straps don't automatically come with that tote. So Dagne Dover, put it on the list. So many bags in this area. So I really spent a little bit more time digging through here than I normally do because there are way more here than I'm used to seeing. So American Leather Company, that might be one to grab. Also, I don't remember if I picked it up, to be totally honest with you. I'm holding on to it, and did I buy it or not? I gotta check. I'm losing my mind. Some of those American Leather Bag Company leather bags are good sellers. So that's another one where if you're not familiar with it, you know, maybe some of the more boring sizes or boring styles rather won't sell as well. And then you find a unique one and it does okay. So it's definitely worth looking up anytime you see the logo or the name. So else we have here? That was a Calvin Klein bag. I don't think there's anything there that is worth checking out. Mondani, I'd never heard of before, is another Calvin Klein. That's a nice little, a small, nice little like crossbody, but I don't think Calvin Klein, for the most part, is worth money. I'm assuming. So if you're a bag seller and Calvin Klein has come back for whatever reason, let me know if I'm wrong. Next thing, one of my favorite spots in this specific store, there's always something kind of floating around in here or hidden. So this is, I think, California Tan Tectone is how you pronounce it. There is so this is some type of suntan. I don't want to call it lotion. They call it an optimizer, a suntan optimizer, and then they also make an intensifier. What in the world is the difference between the two? Anyway, this looks like it will sell for around $40 to $45. So extremely lucky. I think what the price they had on that was $3.99. But it's been a minute since I've dug into the bottom baskets here. So we're going to rummage through it. But that California Tan, a lot of the items that I find on these little end caps, especially if it's health and beauty, are new to me. So I like sharing them because hopefully for the majority of you, they're new for you as well. But if you've sold it before, and I'm saying it correctly, Tectone, let me know. But that one recently sold for $36 and then $10 shipping. So I think me being in the same price range, around $40 to $45 is probably going to work. So, but again, so many, like they cleaned the area out and then filled it right back up with a bunch of just random items. So I'm trying to be very thorough this time because usually if I find one, then I find two, then I find three things. I don't know if I find another thing this specific trip, but $45 for that, whatever you want to call it. Lotion, is it bronzing? I don't know what it is, but I will take it. $45 cost me for some filters, some of the normal. I looked at this Epson 502 ink and it was not expired, but it's not worth anything. So, and I try hard these days to stay away from selling ink, even if it's within the expiry date. Just because I've had trouble in the past with HP and Epson and those type of companies, so I just don't deal with it anymore. All right, next thing, with spring and summer coming up, this is a great find. Olukai, what I can tell you, for at least from my vantage point, is Olukai sells a lot slower, and that could just be a simple supply and demand thing. So it sells a lot slower for me. I've had to sort of reduce some of the asking prices that I've had, but this style, and I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce it, but this basket weave style, this is going to be good for $50 to $60 pre-owned. Looks like they are selling really consistently, brand new, for $130, $140, $150. So very lucky and very thankful to find those, because shoes is, and I've said this before in previous videos, I'm not finding as much footwear as I was last year. So hopefully that changes, but that's a great pair of Olukais. They were a size, I think they were, it might have been 10 and a half, but 11, 10 and a half, something like that. So it's a wheelhouse size for men, and they were in great shape. So I have a feeling that once those get listed, it's not going to be very long before they sell, because I think the correct season for those, or at least the one that's going to provide the highest demand, is the spring and the summer season. So let's grab that. I should have looked up that little plug-in rose thing, whatever that was, but a lot of unique items that I have not seen before. That little wallet looked cool, but I didn't see a brand to go with it. That looks like a cigar box. There's a geisha here. She looked nice. Left her behind. And then just some more of the random items that I would normally, in like seasons or years past, just glaze over and pass up. But I'm looking up these items now because I'm really trying to diversify even more than I already am. So anything else here? Those mats, probably should have looked at those mats too, right? I don't know if those are, I mean, they must be new. They're in pretty bad shape. I don't know. It's weird because they have the tag that up at the top that would indicate that they're brand new, but they look like they're pretty messed up. Okay, next thing that I'm going to grab here, something that I've never found before in a plate set, Villeroy Boch. So we've got like some ducks, mallard, geese. It's a set of 6, and there's 3 on this one with one design and then 3 here. I could split these up and sell them 3 and 3, but it has an interesting, unique, like studded rim to it with like those, with the dots that you see around the edges. I think I'm going to keep this set together and list it for 180. It looks like the individual plates, at least with that unique style around the rim, are selling for between $25 and $35 single plates. I'm going to lot these together and try to get the $30 price for all 3 of them. So what is that, 180? I did see a couple sets sell for like 160, 170, and 180, but I'm going to try it, and if it doesn't work out that way, maybe I will split them up 3 and 3. But great find. Each one of those plates was 99 cents. So 6 plates, $6. If I'm lucky enough to get 180, that would be wonderful, because January and February are typically much slower months for me. So to get 180 for those, if I can get it sooner than later, that would be absolutely fantastic. So get to shoot for the stars on those and see what happens. But that's the first time I think I've ever seen a plate set or picked up a plate set from that brand. So that was pretty exciting. When is hunting season? Anybody listening know when like official season is? So we're coming up into spring. Is it like more of a spring thing, or is it more of a fall thing? Or, you know, when? I don't know exactly what hunting season is. So if you know, let me know in the comments. Next item that I'm going to grab here, another thing that's like where the season is emerging. Yes, you can golf year round in Florida, I get it, but we have 8 TaylorMade Rocket Balls irons, and then a couple of like random clubs. There's a Diablo, Callaway, and then this TaylorMade Rescue. But the Rocket Ball set, it's 5 through a pitching wedge, and then it also has an A, also has an S for sand. So I have 8 clubs total. The grips are in good shape. The steel shafts actually look like they sell better, or at least they sell more frequently than the graphite. And I'm becoming more comfortable selling golf. I had a lot of success last year. It wasn't a category that I was really good at or really familiar with, but having sold an iron set for over $200 before Rocket Balls, I'm picking those up. They had $25 on that. I think I can get $200 for the set of 8 clubs. So let's put it up for $200, see what happens. Those other random clubs, maybe $20 to $35 between those 2. Great pickup, fair price. I can't sell the bag. The bag has too much damage, unfortunately, or that would have been a fantastic, even more so, pickup than it already was. But so the bag's got to go, and I'll take it. The first golf item that I have found this year that I think I can move in a decent amount of time. There are some like okay shoes in this area here too, but I'm checking sporting goods, this is like pickleball area. There's some martial arts hanging out in this bag. I have sold sets of like martial arts gear before. That just looks like too much work. I don't know if I want to mess with it. And quite honestly, it's been sitting there for a couple of days. So I'm not the only one that's thinking that. But I'm leaving it behind because I don't want to deal with it. So it's funny, right? Complain about your sales, but you don't want to put in the work there, pal. Actually, I've been working really hard to grow my inventory, so just gonna give myself a pat on the back there. All right, Vuori pants. These are Meta pants. This is a great pickup and a very timely pickup. Vuori. If you search Vuori Meta, there's like 700 listings, but over 1,000 sold. So this is a very in-demand style of pant from that brand. Brand new, they're selling online on eBay for around $100. I think I could get $50 for that. It wasn't the only pair that I found. Maybe another rack comes out here shortly, and I found another pair that was khaki. Those ones were almost a cross between like burgundy and brown. I couldn't really tell in store, so I have to look a little bit closer. But $50 pre-owned on those pants, and they were in excellent condition. I should actually check and see if one of them fits, because I need a nice pair of khakis. So if the other ones fit, maybe I'll keep it. I thought about this Oakley shirt from 2016. I passed on it. I know that might have been a good bread and butter pickup, but again, when my sales are low, like they are right now, I tend to get gun shy. So on one hand, I'm like, I need to grow my inventory and I want to get it to 3,000. But on the other hand, like, cash flow or cash in general is a little bit tight, especially at the beginning of the month. So, what do? I'm just going to leave it behind because I think of all the things you've seen so far in this video, a lot of those are going to sell. They'll sell quicker and they'll sell for much higher dollar amounts. So I'm kind of gun shy on the bread and butter stuff. This is another example of that. Under Armour, I pick it up so infrequently, but I wonder if that's a mistake because again, if this is like a good bread and butter and my sales have kicked in and I don't feel so like cash strapped, then maybe I would pick these up, and maybe it's better middle of the month towards the end of the month when some of the sales have kind of kicked in for the month. But I'm passing up on all of that, and I did the same thing here with this Lands' End Serious Sweats. I love the fact that this is such a high quality piece, and it's a size 3X, but Lands' End makes some fantastic condition items. Same with some of the lesser known like Orvis, LL Bean, they all make such a quality product, and this felt good to the touch, but I had to leave it behind. There's one of these listed, exact same style. I think it's the exact color, and I think it's the exact size for $35. But when I went and looked in the solds, I didn't see any. I didn't see any sold, so I left it behind. I want more of a guarantee, at least in the beginning of the month right now, and so this is a much better example. Hustler ankle fray pants from Mother. These are probably good for $80, $90. One of the things that I'm paying close attention to is the manufactured holes. So when the person who owned them previously was wearing them, do they look like they were stretched out even more? And for this pair of pants, the fraying at the bottom here, that's totally natural, but it doesn't look like it was stretched out there. So that's a good sign. So it looks like they're in the shape they were purchased in. And I forget what size they were. I didn't really bother to look. Once I saw it and once I saw the style, I was like, it's a go. I'm just checking every other little detail because this is going to be $9.50 now. $9.50 I think is the pants price in my area, certain Goodwills. So everything looks good there. If I get $80 for those, even $90, that would be amazing. I mean, those pants are, to me, they don't look like anything special. It just looks like your average everyday pair of pants, but that's the power of branding. So, and we benefit from that. That's why I always say, that 15% or whatever it is that eBay takes, it's still worth it in the long run because we pay zero for marketing. Like we benefit from the marketing budgets and the brand building of all of these other brands simultaneously. So 15% is worth it to me. I like this Little Bo Peep plush from Toy Story, like the sheep Little Bo Peep. It was only $4.99, but again, I got gun shy because the tag was cut, and that's not something I want to have to disclose and lower my price on, so we're going to leave it behind. And I think we did well. I think we did pretty well this trip with some good finds. Hopefully there's some stuff here that you had never seen before, and that's it for the shopping trip. When I go to the post office to drop off my shipping for the day, I have my handling time set to 1 business day, but when I drop off those packages, I almost never, up until now, get a receipt for it. I leave it there and then I expect the professionals to do their job properly. Well, what's happening now is, and this is happening, and this has been confirmed by at least 2 eBay customer service representatives, that there's some sort of a logistical issue, especially if we're talking the post office, where they are getting the packages, they are not scanning them in time, and then we on our end are getting dinged for it, and that is exactly what is happening to me in my account. So I have spoken to 3 eBay customer service reps. One was able to remove 5 of the dings, and these weren't removed because of weather conditions where there was maybe a storm or something like that, and so certain zip codes were affected. I think she just did it because she realized that I had the proof for it, and it made better business sense for both of us to have them removed. The 2 people that I've spoken to after the fact, because it continues to rise now, and I'll explain what I'm doing to try to curb that. They've said that there's nothing they can do about it. Those dings are going to stay there, and it is going to be your responsibility moving forward to get receipts. I totally understand that. And now every time I walk into the post office, it's a complete hassle because I have to stand there. They have to scan everything in. They are the best. by the way. The people there's some of you folks that work at the post office that watch. Hello, you guys, I love you. But something's happening on the back end where things aren't getting scanned. For instance, on January 12th, I shipped a pair of Carhartt bibs. I think it was the same day. I think the order came through and like maybe an hour later I brought it. Well, the scan didn't show up according to eBay until the 17th. That was 5 days. To me, that is completely unacceptable. I don't care, what business you're in, but if the objective is to get it out as soon as possible, 5 days to me, that seems absolutely excessive. And I'm getting punished for that because I, prior to that, wasn't getting receipts to prove that I had at least dropped it off within my 1-day handling time. If this is happening to you folks, it's systemic. It's like eBay wide, it's the post office wide. Some of the suggestions that they gave me included going to another location, possibly switching to UPS or FedEx. But I mean, none of those really to me, you're asking me to solve a problem that I didn't create. So it's sort of strange. Could I switch locations and go to one that's a little bit farther away? Sure, possibly, maybe. I don't think I have to though at this point. So I've started getting the receipts to prove that I've dropped everything off within my handling time, but there has to be a better solution on eBay's end than just, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Outside of the ones that you can't prove because you have a receipt. So to me, it's like, yeah, I could do a number of things. I could switch carriers, A. I could switch the locations that I drop these packages off, B. Or I could sell on Amazon, C. So, what would you like us to do? I don't want to have to do something like that, but it seems like we're getting punished for a problem we didn't create. I want to know if you're having the same issue with them receiving your packages, especially if we're talking about the post office. And if it's happening at FedEx and UPS, please let me know as well. I am specifically just referring to the post office. But if you're having that problem as well, let me know. I think what it is going to take is for some of you to call in, and every time I call in and I speak to eBay customer service rep, I'm extremely nice. I want always to let them know that it is not their fault on the front end, but we do have an issue that has been created that really isn't our fault. It's out of our control once we drop those packages off. So yeah, I can get the receipts all day long, but I have 15 days or so for the numbers to come in and reduce my or bump my account back into top rated status, which probably isn't going to happen. But what I can tell you is normally I wouldn't let something like this upset me or affect me, but I've noticed that even with a small amount of time, if my account drops into above average but then climbs back up into top rated for the time, even if it's just seller forecasted, my numbers drop. My listing views go down, my sales drop. And so I don't think that that's a coincidence, even in just a small amount of time, like maybe a 48 to 72 hour difference, because again, I've been top rated for so long, so consistently that I've never really had to think about this, but it's definitely a problem. The solutions that they've given us to me aren't reasonable, but it is. And one of the customer service reps said that they must have had 100 calls alone already today, just specifically citing this issue where the integrity of the scans on the carrier side are being compromised. I don't know what's going on back there behind the scenes. I could call the postmaster. We could all call our postmasters and try to figure it out, but we have a problem on our hands, and I don't know that I have the perfect solution to it. Let me know if you're suffering from this issue as well in the comments, and I think that's it. That's all I've got for you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.